shore. We can get lucky here. I should be really, really, really lucky, too, if it works out. Alright, we didn't. Still gonna blow up their commander, though. I could have blown up the Siren Stormtamer to stop the engine, but I'd rather just stop the... like, force them to have to cast that card at some point in the future. And here it is, making me regret everything. Okay, let's get that. Vorinclex for sure, right? It's got reach. It's very annoying. But so is the... No, we're going to play Vorinclex. We're going to play Vorinclex. It does have reach, and this is a blue deck. Alright, looks like we actually did the thing. Counterspell doesn't ruin me too bad. I can play this first. Gitrog monster's probably the one I don't care about the most. Or, like, yeah, I care about this one the least. So I guess on first. Okay, I didn't expect that to resolve. Not gonna lie. That a little too late for that one. Okay. 1, 2. Okay. Let's see if they have Wash Away. Alright. There didn't seem to be any counter spells, and the engine was online probably too slow, but I think I maybe wanted to kill the Siren Stormtamer. It gets very hot. Very, very, very hot. Definitely at least a year, I think. It was either a year, maybe it was August, actually, last August. Oh, I didn't even see the Molt Tender. Oh, I didn't even see it. Oh my... I didn't see it, chat, I'm sorry. Well, too late for it now. I got distracted. Literally just flew right over my head. Zoomed over my head. Let's play this because it looks actually safe. Kind of crazy. Decline. Yeah, I just didn't see the Molt Tender. That's why I didn't play it. It wasn't 4D chess, I just didn't see it. Oh look, our commander died. Wow. Nuts. Actually bonkers. Play it again? Yep. This mills on attack, or is it just... Okay. Do I draw after? Oh, okay, that works out. This looks like desperation. And you're right, they did have the removal spell anyways. Look at him go. And my opponent has Bajuka Bog. Alright. Unbelievable. Yeah, I got one land. Huge. Not sure that worked out too well for my opponent there. Maybe it did. Maybe it did. So 5, doesn't look like I'm gonna get anything. I guess that's just so ugly. That's just so ugly to do, though. I'm not gonna get anything here. I could spin, but I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not gonna risk it. I'm just gonna do this. Okay. Wow. Okay. Shoot. Removal, 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 removal. Discard, and they concede it. You play it specifically because it's not Davriel? I mean, if you like Liliana, you'd probably like actually playing Davriel. I don't know. I wouldn't remove my ability to play Davriel because it's too good or something. I don't know. I don't think Davriel's even too high up there when it comes to all that. When this dies, make a 1/1. Alright. So we're up against that thing that just shows up instantly or whatever. Uh-oh, they have Chrome Mox. Oh, yep, it's definitely Chrome Mox. Or something. This gives me the best chance to play a second land next turn. So I'll play that. Gives me the best chance to play 2 lands next turn. It is kind of dumb how it can randomly do nothing. Like, it's already a card game. Does it also have to be a dice game? I need a land. And Acidic Slime doesn't seem productive, so... Do I play this land? Or do I play this land? I probably play this one? No. We can just play that pretty safely. So we don't have to worry about milling ourselves. It's just a matter of playing our commander and have it actually do something. Oh look, it's a Chrome Mox you're talking about. Absolutely surprising. Opponent's playing Rankle. And then, of course, my opponent has something immediately to reanimate that I milled. First symmetrical mill card we played is immediately punished. I can get Jet Collector. all of these don't really do much. There is a... So I can, if I don't draw a land, I might be able to play the game? Maybe? Put this in play, and then they have to kill it or I don't die. Alright, well, they have one card in hand. It's not an instant. Does this force me to sack? It is not. What does that do? Okay, that doesn't change Angels of Suffering's ability. So we mill for a boatload. We could just get milled out. I don't know if they have 30 damage. They probably do, though. We'll see. These don't have Death Touch, right? They do not have Death Touch. If Angel of Suffering wins this game, I'm going to be completely blown away. Alright, we're down to 27, and I wish the Mesmeric Orb could be removed from play, but it cannot. Although, to be honest, I think I'd just get one shot, like, next turn anyways. I don't think the orb math would fundamentally change anything. What would that pick up? Final Parting, which doesn't really do anything at this point, so I'm not going to pay one. Can't kill my opponent. I can play this and maybe stop a bunch of damage, but even still, I don't think it's enough. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's enough here. So, here, here, what does this plus do? Creatures you control get, okay, that doesn't actually really do anything. I guess I'll kill it? It doesn't really do that much. Alright, my opponent has to kill me here, and I think they can. I think it's pretty easy to kill me here. I think so. There's 15 cards. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes. We are, in fact, dead. Looks like we won. Looks like we won. Looks like we won. That is very funny. That is very, very funny. Wow, we won with one card in the library. It's kind of nuts. Okay, wait. Can I... Well, let's see if we can do something weird. If I reanimate this, we have no card draw triggers, right? Oh, no, I can't. I can't even minus it. Tragic. Alright. I don't think it... Yeah, it's fine. Alright, we won. Look at that. Opponent thought they were dead for some reason. I don't know how. I don't know why. But the Angel actually won the game. Because my opponent didn't stick around to do the math there. Oh. I think I'm taking these out. This is just atrociously bad. I'm taking these out. I'm done with this. This is just beyond stupid. It's so not worth it. These cards are awful. I don't even like them in Tatyova, or like Omnath, or that other one. These are just so terrible. Absolutely terrible. Let's go here. Probably do green? It's all the lands, right? I don't know if I expect this to die. But I don't really have many plays next turn, so... Well, that's a really unfortunate draw. Not gonna lie to you. Suppose I should probably swing first. Okay, this works. Good. They can't be mana drain, and I'd be a little bit surprised if they cared about this. Best case scenario, they put it on top. Alright, they did not put it on top. They also clicked through my combat very quickly. They actually hid Omen of the Seas quite well there. You don't see that too often. So far, this game has been decided by the fact that my lands have been tapped. So everything's a turn slower. It's definitely the most impactful thing that's happened. Alright, do we have Tail's End? Gonna really want some kind of Tail's End here. Alright, they don't. Best case scenario. Actual best case scenario. That was beautiful. I don't even know if I've ever had this many lands in play this early ever. Talking about a bunch of fetch lands. Oh, day late and $1 short there, opponent. A little too late for that one. Tragic. But they never really had an option. They never had like a point where they could have played that. I'm still taking these out, by the way. Don't get it twisted. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this... Oh, no, these are tapped. Never mind, I can't find untapped lands. Play this. I think I'm playing Spaghetti Noodles here. Elder Spaghetti. Could sack the Analyst again. Could sack the Analyst again. Probably no need to do that. I feel like there's no need to do that. Let's just plus here. Not make it a 3-3. Not make it a 3-3. Play Gargaroth. And leave this in hand for next turn. Yeah, leave that in hand for next turn. Okay. I don't want my opponent to know about my graveyard if I don't have to, right? I'm not even sure what I get. I could just get Gristlebrand. Give me 7 cards. Probably okay. Ooh, my opponent gets... Oh, what? What? Oh, it's only you control. Oh, I'm like, how do you not get a giant 6/6? What are you doing? Okay, I highly doubt this is actually elementals, so that is kind of insane. That is kind of insane. Don't know how much anything matters beyond me casting this, though. I do not care about your elementals. And I think I should put... Wait a minute. Okay. I should cast this now. Because if they do... Vaultborn Tyrant might just be safer. And I'm not upset about Vaultborn Tyrant being in play. This just feels safer to me. Like if they have River's Rebuke, which feels like one of the last cards that matter here. This feels safer. I like the Thriving Lands. Maybe I like them more in Pauper. Okay, well my opponent didn't concede. This does have Death Touch. Wow, they had Massacre Worm in their deck. Interesting. We can play this and protect the Gargaroth. Sort of. I suppose I can play that too. Alright, they're done. Definitely keep a land. That's not a land. I think I'd try to find a land instead. Buried Alive here, kind of weird looking. You're playing something on turn 2? Wow. That is nuts. Alright, my opponent played something on turn 2, chat. That's kind of crazy. I think it's a safe bet to not miss my land drop. So I'm not going to do miss land drop. We can get this. Yeah. I'm just not going to miss my land drop. This is one of the worst cards for my opponent to see, so if they have a removal spell, they might not also have a counterspell. This is a legendary as well. I probably should cast this instead. Because if it dies, it turns into a land. That's pretty useful. This is not really doing that much. I could sort of put both in play at the same... loyalty's just like stupid low, and then I just don't like what I've done. Okay, that's odd. That's incredibly odd, actually. So... we let him draw one. Definitely let him draw one here. Ooh, chat, we made a mistake. We miscounted. Yep, we made a mistake. We should not have let our opponent draw one. That was definitely a mistake. Whoops. Let the record show that technically this Ristic study still shouldn't have found a... still should not have drawn a card. There's no reason to crack this fetch land. There's just no reason. Alright, so I don't have any good reanimates, which is tragic. And I am 1 mana shy of that. Also tragic. Okay, we do have good reanimates. I am a filthy liar. You, and Ulamog is very annoying, but is it the best option? This has redundancy. This dodges destroy, though. What do I reanimate? I think it is just Griselbrand. I feel like Griselbrand is the only thing that makes sense here. It could be Primeval Titan. It could be Primeval Titan. because we do have Breach the Multiverse. And this, no, this just plays the long game better. Chat, it just plays the long game so much better. Like, there's no way I don't do this. And I'm gonna go to discard on purpose. Also, I didn't play a land yet, so that actually works out. I didn't notice that. Of course, my opponent has the best card in the entire game. Oh shoot, I didn't play my land first. Could've... Second, let it be known, 2 Rhystic Study triggers that probably shouldn't have happened. Because I apparently can't help myself. Opponent's graveyard is nothing, of course. Cavern naming... I've probably lost this game, but... Could just put Ulamog in play now. Still feels totally useless, though. Feels absolutely useless. Alright. Grist it is. I can blow up the Gristlebrand, and I don't know if my opponent's interested in paying, more than 7. Because I can only do it twice. They probably do not want to do it again. Is this stay as an enchantment? It does. It's not a creature, so I can't reanimate it anymore. So we both equaled out with the draw 7. It kind of just equaled itself out there. Yeah. I don't know if Acidic Slime's better than what I did, but I guess you could consider it. I can only draw 14, yep. So we have 1, 2... We have a lot of lands in the graveyard. Suppose I will cast that card. Well, if I can respect it, I might as well. 1 devotion, 3... Okay, it's hard to do math here, but I'm gonna try. I don't expect this to resolve, and I think that's fine. Of course, my opponent has the best counterspell. Again, Ulamog feels really stupid. I think I take the Tyrant. I think the Tyrant's just full stop harder to deal with in draws cards, so... Could blow up the midnight clock. I don't know if I should. Probably with the grist. I probably should blow up the midnight clock. They had this last turn and didn't cast it. Interesting. Well, going after my opponent's mana is the main idea. I don't really care about them flipping it. It's just the mana that it creates is a problem. I also actually have a lot of things to do. Alright, I guess I just won't do it for now. Well, Housemeld, Gristlebrand, and Minidrain have been cast this game. Okay. Tear Asunder? Definitely Tear Asunder. The glue token is too slow to like Sphinx's Rev for a bajillion, so I don't expect that to do much. They played a card I did not know about. Weird. So let's tear asunder now. Definitely the midnight clock still. Paul only has 2 cards in their hand. Alright, looks like I am doing the right thing here. Get wrecked. Oh. Oh my goodness. They did mulligan too, yeah. Probably blitzing for the old 1-drop. Alright. Maybe blitzing for the old 2-drop. It is a 4-minute commander you can do it on turn 2 as well. Alright, this is the slowest I have ever seen Mythweaver Pock B. That's unusual. They mulligans too. Kind of crazy. They did mulligan. Okay, can play you. Then this. But then I can't. Actually, no, that's fine. Because then I can flare it. And I should flare now. I don't care about Nissa. And I will play Ripples instead of Orb. Actually, I could play Orb. Maybe I should. Yeah. It just sets me up really quickly, so... Who knows, maybe I completely annihilate my opponent's strategy in some convoluted way by milling something important. Who knows? Well, if they only have lands left, my opponent's board state isn't all that scary. Well, that's cool. Haven't played that one yet. Do I play this? Land 5. I have 6 lands in play. I don't think I can play it. I don't think I can play it. Oh, maybe I can. No, no. No. Yeah, I just have to deal with Mythweaver Pock. That's just all I have to really do here. Let's do that. Oh, chat, I didn't cast the Birds of Paradise. Chat. Chat. Chat, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to cast the birds. I clicked the wrong card. Whoops. I can play lands with the crawler. Well, I already played my lands, so... Great Henge. Alright, well, that's... kind of scary. Sort of? How scary is that? That's definitely more scary. Is it? Yep. That definitely is more scary. Because it just sort of loses... I just lose the game really quickly. What is this, Beseiju? You do not want to Beseiju this. Okay. That's also extremely weird. They didn't do it before it triggered. Oh, they couldn't. You can't pitch until it's my turn. Alright. I have 6 mana. It has to be a permanent. I could just get another one of those. Another Mesmeric Orb. Although, I think Forceful Cultivator is probably slightly better. Probably. Oh, the Fanatic taps for 4. Chat. Why? Why? Why do I exist? Why do I exist, chat? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, yeah, I just royally borked everything. I royally borked everything. I'm sorry. All right, well, make do with what we've got here. So, forgot I had cards in play. Still looking pretty okay, but, you know, I could have probably almost won outright. And I didn't. What's better than 1 Ulamog? 2. So they have good top decks. And by good top decks, I mean really, really good game-ending top decks. Let's see if they find one. That is not it. That is sort of a redraw, though, I think. Yep. Alright, they didn't get it. So it looks like we weren't punished. Oh wait, they have a land they can seek a non-land. Okay. But they don't have a bajillion mana anymore, so they can't find, like, Entish spaghetti noodles or whatever. Play that. Oh, opponent. Alright, Mythweaver Pock just didn't get there. I feel like I don't turn 2 Cultivate. I could turn 2 Cultivate, though. I could. Does that change anything? No, not really. That's interesting. Wait, is it? Maybe it's not interesting. Okay, so I can Dark Ritual, and then play Nissa, and then maybe my opponent just swings at it, and life is good. Or they don't, and I'm sad. If they do, I'm happy, but if they don't, they have to really justify the treasure token. And we'll see how they do that. Is this a Storm deck? I don't know. It's giving me Storm deck vibes. Arboreal Grazer was a really good draw. Oh, wait. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. I lied. I lied. Wait. No, it wasn't. Wait, hold on, I'm confused. Why am I confused, chat? Why am I confused? Okay. It's as good as it's gonna get. We're gonna do this. We're gonna decline. And then we're gonna cultivate. Kind of a disappointing turn, but it is what it is. Could have been worse. We have a blocker and... yeah, it could have been worse, I guess. It looks like it's going to start spamming extra turns, but we'll see. It's kind of what my headspace went towards. We shall see. Okay, this is a very strange use of resources. But you got it. You got it. They can't cast Scute Swarm. Silence? Yep. I'm still playing the land. I don't know why I wouldn't. Still getting Gitrog. Still plotting that. And I don't think I'm swinging, because I don't think 8 damage is worth it. I'd rather them just not produce infinite treasure tokens, and then I lose because they produce infinite treasure tokens. Or they just bounce it. Breach the Multiverse is probably just the safest bet here. I could Final Parting Gristlebrand, but I think things can go wrong with that. Let's just try this. Opponent finds a random counterspell off the top of their deck. Excellent. Galvanic Relays a Humiliation. They did not storm that, or copy it with this thing. They definitely cast those in the wrong order. They definitely cast those in the wrong order. So, final parting, we can now get Reanimate, Crystal Brand, and I guess I will. I could, again, Vaultborn Tyrant, making it so I don't die to poking damage nonsense. Feels slightly safer. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We are gonna try to do that. Yeah, this feels way better than Crystal Brand. I can reanimate something again. Might as well. Yeah, we'll actually flare that Vaultborn Tyrant. Not even sure what I'm drawing towards here. Honestly, not much of anything. I could just still lose the game because I didn't straight up win. Let's get rid of Lotus Cobra. It feels a bit redundant. Okay, yep. Opponent does get another turn. So they can still just win. Assuming it's some kind of weird storm deck that needs cards and finds them and stuff. That's a very good sign. That is a good sign. They blow up their own land to find a land. This gets past my landfall of my thing. They can kill my commander, but they probably don't want to do that. Yeah, they didn't even swing first. Oh, they can still swing. Nothing can block. If they do kill Nissa, I get to reset its loyalty, so this, in my opinion, is probably not a good idea. And it's the first time this has come up, but I think it's a trap to randomly kill Nissa when it's not at 5 or higher. Oh, we have something in the end step here? What is that? Oh, alright. Yeah. It would be a bit crazy for my opponent to find the combo. I've never seen this commander played, but given what it's trying to do, it feels like what's going on here. Would have won. I'm going to turn 1 or turn 2 Journey. What? Okay. That's weird. The other one just does it automatically. Now, Ashava would... Well, that I can beat that, though, can't I? It doesn't have haste. None of that has haste. Well, I can't really do much here. I guess I'll play this. That's all just tragic and sad. Suppose it could be worse. Yeah, that could have been worse. What? Wow. That's, odd. So, commander... What is my commander even doing? Honestly, not much of anything. So we play land, and then I just play the turtle? No, I play Gargaroth? Maybe I'd play the turtle. I think I play the turtle. How many lands are in my graveyard? 1. If it misses, it's pretty bad, but if it doesn't, it's fine. Oh, they didn't respond. My opponent did not respond to it. Wow, okay. They could have responded and taken out the land, because I did miss. I missed all of my shots there. I'm going to keep mine shaman shutting their shaman down for mana. Don't care about the life loss. I could also just block the 4/4 with my shaman and maybe just let them have their shaman activation. That's probably better, honestly. Just stopping the swing, because it shuts down mana in that regard. They just don't get a land. So that probably makes sense. They did not eat anything. Oh, there's only one land. There's no reason to eat anything. If I lose shaman in response to it dying, it doesn't really matter. Because I'll just have the thing still. Actually, both of these go to the graveyard, right? So my opponent can eat the journey? Can they eat the journey? Does anyone know how this works? When an enchanted creature dies, return it to the battlefield. Then return this card to the battlefield transformed. So they can eat the journey? Okay. It's best I don't go all in on the journey then, and I just do stuff instead. Like this. Because I can't reliably get their Deathrite Shaman off the board, I might as well take what I can get. How did they choose the damage? What? Oh, right, that happens after. Okay, well, apparently my opponent doesn't want the Deathrite Shaman to do its thing. Sure. I'll take that. Wilderness Reclamation. It's a very strange deck to see that. Oh, maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. How many lands? How many lands? Just one? I will eat it now? Most assuredly, right? No, I won't. Maybe I do now. actually. Alright, that made my choice easier. Did not really expect them to do that. I feel like they could have just let me have the mana. It's actually kind of odd they didn't. What is this? Beseiju. Alright, that's... Okay, that's totally fine. Turning the journey into a land is completely fine to me. So, let's get that. I feel like I kind of win out in that, honestly. The only main issue here is, like, my opponent has literally played mono green in their 3-color deck, which I know I complain about all the time, but... here's the part where the blue cards just come in and wreck me, I guess. I don't know what else Wilderness Reclamation is doing. Not really anything to minus... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... That's not true. Yeah, I can't not give them a chance to respond. Something I can do. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Oh, I did it again, chat. It's only one fetch land, but still, I did it again. I should have cracked my fetch land first. Chat, I'm not good at this game. Let's play this. Alright, now I'm honestly very confused of what's going on. Okay. This kills Lumra, right? I keep my Gargaroth? No. Wow. That's odd. Let's, eat the land? Because, again, stopping my opponent's Deathrite Shaman in some kind of way makes sense to me. And I think I'm going to plot this, pillage. Which sort of offsets not cracking my fetch land first. Because now I get to do this instead. Which I think is fine. Though I think the extra land was probably going to be better in the long run. But at least we get something out of it. Alright, well. Immediately punished for giving my opponent Deathrite Shaman. Can't play Nissa and also do stuff with it, so I don't believe there's a reason to tap Deathrite Shaman. Alright, well, they only have one card, so I'm not really scared of that much, but okay. I would probably swing with Primeval Titan here. Actually, I would absolutely swing with Primeval Titan here. Without a doubt. Another player with Bojuka Bog. Everyone's running the Bojuka Bog. It's kind of funny. Let's actually eat the Primeval Titan with our Death Ray Shaman. I don't believe it's reasonable for them to activate theirs in response. You might as well stop Nissa from randomly being problematic. It's not worth 2 life. Oh, they did. Chat, they did. They did. Mill 4, return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So all the ones in play are not too concerning. It's maybe just a new one showing up that is. They didn't really get any new scary ones. Alright, yeah, I think we stopped the main issue here. Oh, maybe not. They found a way to kill Ulamog, I guess. But I got a 3-2? Wait a minute. I just have Ulamog with my... No, I don't. Never mind. That's what I was talking about, not using your Deathrite Shaman. Alright, so here they have to respond first. Kind of like what we just did, so... The Deathrite Shamans have made this game very interesting. This blows up the Wilderness Reclamation. What does this do? Whenever this enters, search your library for black, green, and blue. Put them in your graveyard. Tragic. Actually tragic. Yeah, with their Deathrite Shaman, that doesn't make sense. Alright, not really any good hits. I could take the Fairy Mastermind just to create mana. Or a card draw. Yeah, just card draw. And Vorinclex is good. Acidic Slime blowing this up doesn't feel like it does much when my opponent has no cards or anything that cares about mana. So I should probably just take this. Wow, I'm almost out of basic lands. That's nuts. Let's play Nissa. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We can activate Nissa here, right? For Acidic Slime, which feels kind of lame, honestly. Feels incredibly lame. Feels really lame to do that. But I probably should just get an activation in when I can. Tireless Provisioner, not really feeling very enticing. Yep, let's just blow it up. Might as well. And pass. After we swing with these two, right? Yeah, I'm not in any danger of dying. Although, if they top deck River's Rebuke, I am in danger of dying. It's not often where I feel like both players have very thought-provoking turns. Doesn't happen too often. A game that made it out of turn 3. And then decisions to be made. I feel like you just chump block with a zombie here. Or wait, you can just chump block with a saplling, actually. Oh, it's a bug. Chat, it's a bug, I lied. Alright, for some reason they did not block. I'm not sure why. This does not have trample. Bit of a mistake there, I think. Definitely feels like a mistake. They were gonna draw Massacre Worm if they didn't mill it. Would that have been good? Kill this and that? Okay, that wouldn't have been game ending, but it would have been good. I still don't care about this, right? Yeah, no, it doesn't really do that much here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, it's still... Okay, that doesn't kill me. Yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Oh, opponent, it doesn't work. Oh, no. Well, if Journey flips, it is a complete and utter nightmare for this deck, but it has to do that. Suppose this hand makes it possible. Alright. How bad do I think it's going to get? I haven't looked at any card from Final Fantasy, so I don't know. I can't imagine it could get worse. Not to say that it's, like, abysmal. I'm not saying it's, like, an abysmal spot or anything. But I can't imagine it would, Wizards would just let the format... Oh, well, you know what? Because Pioneer is the way Pioneer is, I think anything is possible. What do you do with this? Promise to cast a card. Alright, so they can steal Primeval Titan. They probably do take Primeval Titan here, honestly. I think. I don't believe Journey is something my opponent cares about, so it's probably one of these. But we'll see. Alright, they took the card I scryed on top. It's kind of funny. After MH3, everything is fine? Well, I didn't say it. Someone in the YouTube chat said it. I didn't... I'm not being a Debbie Downer about it. I'm just repeating what I'm hearing. I can play my commander, but it feels like it's not as good as this. Wait a minute. Dark Ritual, Primeval Titan is even better. Alright, never mind. Silly me. Yeah, is Final Fantasy better than MH3? Pretty debatable. Probably isn't. Probably isn't. But because Pioneer is the way it is, anything's possible. I think Pioneer was stuck in place for 3 years. Like, they just didn't interact with Pioneer for some odd reason. I'll never really get it. Always found that to be strange. We can acidic slime pre-combat, right? Oh, I can just Buried Alive, actually. I can just Buried Alive here. Alright, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 lands. That only reanimates 2. I can force them to deal with Gristlebrand. I probably should. Let's not. Actually, again, oh, Vaultborn Tyrant is such a problem. I'm just going to take that instead. It gives me a lot of safety against certain things, so I'm just going to do that instead. This is only 7 damage. Opponent steals a land and a rampant growth. Alright. Vile Smashers. Yeah, we'll see. I think it would be more interesting if all the cards weren't busted. I think that would make them a little bit more interesting. But maybe not, like, unplayable, like, misery, but still, you know. I can't believe my opponent hasn't conceded. Maybe they know something I don't. Who knows? Maybe this is fine. Maybe my opponent's just in a position that doesn't make them feel bad. Let us do that. Alright, there we go. Yeah. I'm gonna get... What am I getting here? I'm getting a... That makes me want to exile Gitrog Monster. I could exile Scapeshift as well, actually. Probably should, actually. Yeah, this doesn't... It's not a Scapeshift hand, so... Alright. Saw my Hazoret video, became an instant fan. Which Hazoret? Hopefully it's the old one. The new one was so sad. Look how they massacred my girl. Oh man. Tragic. Did I even play the new one? I don't even know if I played the new one, actually. Alright, so wash away, lose? Yep. That is where my head is. Wash away, lose the game. I should probably not let my opponent fatal push my land, because that will also lose a game. So. Is the old one? Okay, yeah. The old one's pretty good. Old one's pretty good. That is a removal spell I don't think I've ever seen cast. No, wait, we played that in Pauper. I lied. Alright, so... Rampant Growth... And... Pillage the Bog? Yeah, we pillage here, for sure. We have 6 mana. This is good, that's decent, this is alright. Lumra... Not that great. I could blow up my opponent's commander with this. What does the loyalty go to? Okay. Don't have to do that. Let's get that then. Because my Gitrog monster can just straight up kill it. They do actually cast it as well. What do I get rid of here? Probably the O'Hare. Maybe whatever I tutored for was irrelevant. I don't think this is a Scute Swarm game. Because this is Grixis Control, which is going to get swept out. So... I'm gonna play this. And I am gonna play the land, right? Yeah, it's foolish to not play the land. There's no reason. They did not draw off the staff. That is not an exile effect, also. I do have the city's blessing now, right? No. Do I have a fetchable... No? Alright. Okay, I do have the city's blessing now. Let's play this out of graveyard. Because they have mana up now. Again, no real reason to hold the land. Alright, I can play this back and forth for a little bit. I think. Alright, now they draw. They didn't draw last time. Alright, I can just reanimate my haste threat with Nissa. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. That might have been one of my best draws, like, ever. Not ever, but definitely one of my better draws, I would argue. So they have to have an exile effect. Is there a Tail's End, Stifle? Double removal? Double removal, okay. Feels bad, especially how I can reanimate it as a, oh wow, that just wins the game. That was, okay, that was my best draw. Yeah, that was my best draw. Let's get these three, yeah. Alright. Feel like there's no rush to do anything specific, and I can just play around my opponent doing weird stuff. Alright, yeah. Like if they had Hell Smelled again, I wouldn't want to put Gristlebrand in play. I could have waited. This isn't instant, honestly. I probably should have just waited. But who knows? They could have top-decked the 1-mana exile a card of your opponent's graveyard with Escape, whatever that thing. Cling to Dust. So there's a reason to do it there. Okay, so I thought this was going to be worse than just casting mono green ramp spells and winning that way. And it is if you're playing a different commander. But I will say the mill strategy of Nissa, like putting things in your graveyard, is just really scary for your opponent, especially without any graveyard hate. And there isn't too much, and you shouldn't ever expect to play against Ketramos. So there's not a lot of exile going on. There's a bunch of Solitudes and whatnot. And I did see Bajuga Boughs aplenty. But other than graveyard hate, it's not too unreasonable to still have some kind of ramp thing going on while also trying to reanimate creatures. Reanimating is not the most consistent thing. The landfall triggers giving this loyalty is really nice, right? I would say without that, this is like a nightmare to play. So that is really nice to be able to reanimate basically every time you cast it. Just a 4-mana reanimate. And I did make a mistake a couple times and thought I had enough lands to reanimate something important, and I didn't, so I made a mistake. I also accidentally declined to pick something a couple times. I don't know, maybe the UI confused me or whatever. Just be wary of that. But as a core strategy, it's good. It is good. It's better than, the other day when we played it. It was way better with the mill thing, and I didn't think that was going to be the case. I really didn't. I did not expect the mill side of it to be better than just casting ramp, even with this in the command zone. But it was. So that's nice. Is it better than what do I kept saying earlier? It's Squee and Slimefoot, or Slimefoot and Squee, whatever order it is, has access to red cards. So Faithless Looting is huge. Any draw discard is huge. Early burn, even like Lightning Bolt and stuff. Not that you lack that. You are black still, so you can play all that if you want it. But the red draw discard is just massive for that kind of thing that Squee and Slimefoot... I'm just going to call it Slimefoot. Slimefoot's cooler. Slimefoot gets to do. So, if it was between Slimefoot and Nissa, I would probably tell you to play Slimefoot if you want to reanimate things. It is more vulnerable because it's a creature, right? And it does demand you have a Saproling in play, right? But once you get going, you don't need more and more mana. You don't need to play more lands for landfall or just ramp at all. You just simply mill more, and as long as your opponent's not interacting your graveyard, you can just sit at the same amount of mana the whole game, which is extremely good, right? This, not really the case. You do actually need to play lands to reanimate anything remotely large and scary. So, well, I shouldn't say remotely, because it does pretty easily reanimate 5s, pretty reliably. It doesn't really reanimate anything more than 5 on its own, like ever, It is also a ramp spell. It can plus on a land that did not come up too often, but it did come up a couple times, I think. It's hard to keep track of what everything happened. This is, I think, either my longest stream ever since I stopped streaming like 6, 7, 8 hours at a time. This is one of my longer streams, and I didn't even notice. I just lost track. I was enjoying this relative to what I normally play, and it was a lot of cards you maybe don't see too often. I did actually also craft a card for this deck, which, is another notable thing I did. The specific cards I was reanimating felt fine. There were plenty of times where I could have went for Gristlebrand and chose to go for like Vaultborn Tyrant or Primeval Titan instead, because paying 7 life for this and then not just instantly winning the game is not always the right idea. Sometimes you draw 7 and then you just die, right? So it's not always the best. Especially if you get sucked into trying to draw 14 and then, you're really dead if it doesn't work out, or and all that. And it's not reliable for this to... You're not really ever untapping with a big scary threat in Historic Brawl, right? I mean, you have to count... You could probably count in one hand how many times you've untapped with your Primeval Titan. So it's good to have something like this that's resilient, gains life, and draws cards. Or this, which is not really resilient, but it ramps you like crazy. And if you untap with it, it's even scarier. So your opponent is in the same mindset of, oh, I really should kill this, as if it were Gristlebrand anyways. So sometimes it was right to pick this instead, especially if your opponent has cards and they're passing priority every time you go to do anything ever. So a quick Titan just felt like a better idea than a quick Gristlebrand. There were definitely some times, though, that maybe Ulamog was right, like the mono blue player that we played that stole all my creatures repeatedly. If it wasn't for the Drake, we would have won instantly, but they had the Drake. If I could have dealt with the Drake, like, this would have been really, really scary. No, they had an exile card. It was like an exile that turned into a bird or something. So, no, that mono blue opponent it was like a 40-minute game, and they had all the outs. They were finding all the outs and drawing all the cards. But yeah, sometimes taking Ulamog would have been maybe right, and I was playing too conservative with it and just like not going for one of these and just trying to get some splash value instead of, you know, windmill slamming this. Because sometimes people just scoot when you put it in play, right? Sometimes they do, but also sometimes they have the answer. Frogifies, exile effects, pacifies, solitude, all that jazz. Problems. Definitely problems there. Journey is a nightmare for any honest deck, and there were a couple. There was like a Nicol Bolas Grixis control thing, and it wasn't. It was the 5 mana Nicol Bolas, and it had 15 removal spells, and this just, it's lights out, right? They're not beating this. They're not going to beat this. So any honest deck is going to struggle with this quite severely. I didn't feel like there was any reason to sack my own creatures, so Phyrexian Tower and whatnot would probably not be right, just to like sack it and reanimate it to get a trigger or something. It just, none of that would to me seem like the right idea, just to make this like, oh, more consistent, like I can sack it instantly, and not really sold on that. I also forgot about Deathrite Shaman the other day when we were playing. Forgot we could just simply play this card. That is nice. So yeah, the ramp package was good. Fiend Artisan, I only activated a single time. I don't know. Take that for what you will. There were a couple games where I almost just lost because I played my own Mesmeric Orb and almost milled out, because we're like slow and grindy and value centric. So this would have almost cost me games. In fact, I think there was one game, had my opponent actually played it out, I would have milled myself. But they didn't play it out because they thought they were dead. So there was one game this did cost us. I think maybe the Angel of Suffering would have milled us out anyways in that game, actually. So I'm not sure, but it's something to take note of. Also, milling your opponent is never, ever a good idea. So you don't ever want to put cards in your opponent's graveyard for any reason. Every deck has something that cares about their graveyard, usually. Honestly, it's like 95% of decks have at least one card that cares about their graveyard. So milling your opponent is something to always keep in mind with a card like this. But if you do play it in a game where you should play it, then you don't have to worry about finding something to reanimate. There were mistakes where I cast Buried Alive and then cast this. There's no reason to cast this. I have the things I want in the graveyard, unless I'm really looking for something new, right? That for some reason I didn't Buried Alive. I don't know what that would be, but it wouldn't have been right to then play this. So there were a couple of games where that was a mistake, for sure, in my opinion at least. In my onions. Yeah, so all in all, it is good. If you don't want to play Slimefoot for some sort of graveyard thing, this is pretty resilient. It's pretty good. I am a fan of it. And it is one of those things that doesn't spam removal, because it's hard to find room for removal. You instead just present threats that are sort of your removal when it comes to swinging and stuff and being scary, and your opponent has to react and interact with those things. So you're not caring too much about what your opponent is doing. You still kind of do, but you could probably put more removal in here. Honestly, you probably could, right? Go a little bit more into the black side of things, but I don't know. But can recommend. So let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.